Hi guys, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. It's been about 4 days since we lost Bella. It still feels very unreal. My heart keeps on looking for her. She was such an integral part of our lives. Like, if my kids dropped a spoon, we would make sure that it didn't have anything that would potentially harm her, like chocolate or raisins or something like that. If we had anything outside on the patio, we would make sure that it was not something that she would get into. We wouldn't even drop anything in the bathroom trash because she had a habit of digging into it. Um, she was such a little sneaky pet. She was the best. Some pets are like humans. She was not. She was like the perfect dog. Like if you were to ever see, like, how dogs are represented in TVs and cartoons, and she was the epitome of that to me, like the perfect dog that I ever wanted. uh, Sorry, I thought I was not done crying, but so it's been hard. um of course, the first 2 days were the hardest. I mean, I wouldn't say that it has gotten any easier, but it just the crying has gone down, I would say, in the house. My kids seem much better. The older one, we still bring her up, we still talk about her because I want to, and I feel like we have to and we should, because she was a family. But at the same time, at these times when the whole COVID pandemic is going on and people are losing like parents and kids, I tend to question my grief from time to time. It's because I feel for those who are losing people, and I feel deeply enough to cry for them. But at the same time, yes, she was very dear to me. She was like a child. She was my first companion ever. I got her, as I mentioned, I think in my last video, I got her before even I got even before I got married, right? Like the same month that we purchased a house, our previous house. And I was the only one who used to live there for like years until I got pregnant, and then my husband moved there. So for me, everything was just kind of revolving around her. um, I have a blog post that I'd almost forgotten about, that was written on her first birthday, um, about the first time she came to me, and there is a small video footage of the first night that she was with me. It's just so sweet. It's unreal that she's gone. I mean, we had talked to our son about her possible death, not even long before. Like, we had told him that dogs don't live that long, so we have to give them all the love that we can now, because they don't have a very long life. Of course, he had cried at that time and changed only a little bit, but only recently had both of them. Oh, I think I got cut off at some point. I don't know, but they were really overprotective of her. If we ever went to a dog park, even my younger one, the 4-year old, used to be like angry at other dogs if they jumped on her, and we had to explain to him that no, they're just playing, they're being friendly, she's not being hurt. So it's been bizarre. Like, my kids are messy eaters, so every time like they sit down to eat, she used to be under the table. So every single thing reminds us of her. it's it's been very difficult, to be honest. Actually, I had posted on our local, just the area kind of page, saying that we need to kind of take care of the speed limits here, because the car that ran her over was at an extremely high speed. I called the local police the next day. They asked me if I had written a report, and I was not sure. I told them that I wasn't sure if there was such a thing I had to do, and they said that it was up to me if I wanted to file a report or not. uh, I just told them and that I wanted to report that the cars are going at really high speed, and they continued. And I was feeling really, really afraid about my kids. An officer came over. He was very kind, and they seemed to have put up like a road sign about construction. I don't see any construction happening, so I don't know if this was their way, the department's way of dealing with uh, the traffic. But the traffic seemed to have slowed down since then, which is good, but because otherwise I was freaking out about my younger one even stepping outside. He wants to go on walks, on sidewalks, of course, but I'm like, what if one of those freaking cars loses its control? And after, especially having lost someone so dear to me, it's hard, to say the least. Um, and then, as I mentioned, I posted on one of the pages and I got some good responses, but then I also got some really aggressive ones blaming me for her death, which I do. I do blame myself. Freaking want to hurt myself for that. But yeah, they were just like blaming, and I tried to explain to them I never allowed her in the front yard without leash. She sneaked out. They just kept on at it, so much so that it started causing me panic attacks. So I reached out to my doctor and have gotten a prescription, and I haven't started it yet. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know when this will pass. I don't know if it ever passes. I got so many messages saying that she was actually their first introduction to a dog. Like so many of her family and friends, Bella was their first introduction to a dog, and her being so kind, or rather, if they had taken away their um, kind of inhibitions or worries about getting a dog. A few of them have ended up getting dogs after her. So she was just perfect. But yeah, this is where I'm at. I also have my surgery coming up in a couple of days. I just had a pre-op visit. I was thinking I should call it off. I was worried that what if I die on the operating table? My kids would have to suffer. How would they deal with it? But then I I have kind of come to terms with it that it's not like if our Ella was still here, there was any lesser higher risk to, it's still remains the same. So I've decided to go ahead with the surgery. Plus, it's not like that easy to just reschedule one. Given the COVID situation, you don't even know if I do end up rescheduling it, if it's happen. Part of me just wants to get a new pup and just think that that would take the pain away. No, it won't. My son is very adamant that if we get a new pup, it has to be a girl dog and with kind eyes, just like Bella. That's what he says. We saw a kind eyed dog on one of the shelters. Shelter dogs are the best. But it was a boy dog. So it also had the little socks, like Bella's feet had like little white paws at the very tip, which one of our trainers used to call her socks. So that other pup also had them. He was also 6 months old with 20 pounds, just like Bella, had the same kind of expression in his eyes in the pictures. It's been hard. Thank you so much for your support through this. Yeah, we're dealing with it. My husband and I are. My husband, I don't know if he's dealing with it or not. He's focusing more on work and taking care of me and the boys. I am, on the other hand, is not taking it. That's why the medication. So let's see. Keeping fingers crossed. Keep us in your prayers. Keep me in your prayers. For the surgery, I'm gonna try and record something so that I can share my pre-op experience with you. So basically, the consultation that had happened a week and a half ago, I wanted to share that. I had recorded like the consultation. I was supposed to record kind of the in between pieces for it, but this happens. I haven't been able to, but I should. I'm hoping that that kind of takes my mind off of the situation. I've been gardening, trying to keep my mind off of the situation, but this deep-seated kind of anger towards me, towards the drivers, the fear towards the towards my kids. I fear for my kids. Somewhere I feel like she's gone off to one of the dog, whatever the hotels that we used to put her at if we ever went out of town. I keep on thinking that she's gonna come back. If I see a squirrel, anyways, I'm gonna try and keep my grief to myself for future videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you. I don't know how to stop this. There you go.